Welcome back to Simply Living It. Today's video, we are going to be talking about homeschool curriculum once again. Today, it is math specific. We have recently changed some of the curriculum we use in our homeschool for math. So stay tuned for today's video where I share with you what we have switched up curriculum-wise for math, who we switched it up for, and how it's going. I have coffee for this video. I probably don't need another cup because this is my second cup, but on top of filming this video for you guys, I'm filming a homeschool mom day in the life as well. So this is a busy day. We have yet to tackle homeschooling because it is a snow day and it is beautiful. So I'm taking advantage of this time and busting out some videos that you all have been asking for. Let's get to today's video, homeschool math curriculum. So we changed math curriculum. Big shocker, I know. This time, mamas, it was not my idea. It was not my doing. So what did we switch and why did we switch it? First things first, my 7th grader has been using teaching textbooks for the past 4 years, okay? We use A Beka in the younger grades up until 3rd grade. Then we switched to teaching textbooks. We have been using teaching textbooks for my 7th grader all along from that point of transition, and it's been going fine. He really, truly has not complained. He's very simple. He's a very easy kid. He just grabs his books, he does his work, very little complaining from him. So when he mentioned this, I had to take it and I had to run with it. We're in the middle of a math lesson about a month ago, maybe a month and a half now. And he said, Mom, I just wish that I could do it from a book. I just wish that I could open up a book and answer the problems in a book. So I took it and I ran with it, guys. What did I purchase? Saxon Math. I reached out to some of my very dear homeschool mom friends and got some advice and just kind of did some processing all on my own, and we switched to Saxon Math 7-6. This is so out of my comfort zone, okay? But I'm telling you right now, it has been amazing. It has been so good for him. It's been so good for me. This is what I want to talk about. With teaching textbooks, none of this is a dig on teaching textbooks, by the way. We still use teaching textbooks with my 5th grader. I don't know if we're going to change things for him. As of right now, I don't necessarily have plans to do so. So again, this is not a dig on either homeschool curriculum. Anytime I change something, it's not necessarily a negative thing about the curriculum. It's just something I'm looking at in a different scope. So I have nothing negative to say about teaching textbooks. I honestly do not. We've used it for many years. It's been great and gotten us where we are, and we will still continue to use it. We are only about a month into Saxon Math, so a month isn't really that long of time to be able to tell whether something is going to fit homeschool curriculum wise or not. And so I just want to reiterate that fact that this is what we're using right now. And I'm sharing this with you because so many of you ask continuously, what am I using for math? What does my oldest use for math? So this is what my 7th grader is using currently, Saxon Math. Again, we are about a month in. It's going great. He loves working out of a book. So I ordered Saxon Math on Amazon. There are a lot of different outlets that you can purchase this from, but because I'm I want it now, I'm so impatient, you guys, I ordered off Amazon. I will link it in the description box down below for you to check it out and look at it a little more in depth if you so desire. So what did I purchase from Amazon? I purchased the kit. So I have this tests and worksheets book. I have the solutions manual, which is all of your answers. Because now, one thing that's different, okay, with teaching textbooks, the computer automatically grades your kids' schoolwork. So I can kind of be checked out with my 7th grader because the computer allows me to. I have realized how checked out I have been because he just does his work and he just gets it. He doesn't need me to be there helping him and teaching him anymore. He's doing it on his own, completely independently, and his grades are good. And so I just haven't had to be there connecting with him on that level. And so what I'm loving about this switch, which is kind of funny because it's why I wanted to switch in the first place, I wanted to switch because I wanted it to be easier on me. I wanted something to grade, like I wanted the grading to be done for me because homeschooling 3 kids, I needed to make things a little easier on myself and free me up in ways so that I can tend to the other boys, which is something that I have loved about teaching textbooks. But it's funny now because I've enjoyed going through and grading his work with him. And if he gets a problem wrong, I have enjoyed going through it with him together and getting the concept down. Again, we're only a month in. But I just want you to know so far, this switch has been going really good. And I can see that staying true. He really truly is enjoying Saxon Math. And I know a lot of people are like, Saxon is hardcore. And I know math is not a one size fits all. I know, just like with any homeschool curriculum, every kid is going to learn different. Every kid is going to want to approach math differently. And that's a beautiful thing in homeschooling, is that we can do that. If we have a kid who wants the fun and the games and the manipulatives, we can cater to that. If we have a kid who just wants math problems and doesn't need the bright, colorful, creative stuff, we can cater to that. And what I am finding in my homeschool, I am the creative one. I want the bright, colorful, creative stuff. My boys, not a single one of them want it. They want basic math. Mom, let's get to math. Give me my problems. Let's get it done. So that's something I wanted to mention too, to take into account when you're choosing a curriculum, especially math for your children. Not all kids are going to want to learn through manipulatives and games and all of those things. Some kids just want the math facts. And that's where my oldest is. That's my 7th grader, Aiden, to a T. He wants the math, he wants to get it done, and he wants to move on with his day. So Saxon Math so far, a month in, has been awesome. I want to share one more thing with you really quick before I move on to math with my 2nd grader, because we not only switched our homeschool curriculum as far as math for my 7th grader, but we've made some switches for my 2nd grader as well. I'll explain all that to you here in just a second. But when it comes to Saxon Math for my 7th grader, we just purchased a simple notebook. He will go through, I'll just flip to one of the pages randomly, just a random page in here. Okay, so he will go through just like I did in public school. I was public schooled, I was not homeschooled. We had, our problems that we would go through. The teacher would say, do odd problems, do even problems, whatever have you, however it fits. So I have all along been telling Aiden, do your even problems. The next day he'll do odd, the next day he'll do even, or if there are some problems that I want to go through and specifically have him answer, I will have him do that. So just a quick note on that front, there are a lot of math problems with Saxon, but I don't have Aiden do all of them every day. He usually does about 15 math problems. And on top of that, we have added in the tests and worksheets book. So in this book, I don't know if you were public schooled and you remember Mad Minutes or even homeschooled, because I know that some of my homeschool friends had Mad Minutes also, but they were called something different. This book right here, the tests and worksheets, has these Mad Minutes in it. This is what he warms up with before he begins his math lesson. So I will have him pull this out. We usually do 2 minutes. You can set the time to whatever you want. When I was in school, it was about half the problems and you had a minute to complete as many as you could, and then you got a candy when you were done. So I have carried that into our homeschool. He loves doing this. He loves doing the Mad Minutes. He'll set the timer himself and do them himself in his bedroom. So that has been something he's enjoyed. And I also have enjoyed going through and grading his work. I don't know, I guess I'm just falling into this teacher role. I love leaving little notes for him. The teacher in me is totally coming out with this Saxon Math. Look, I even have a red pencil to correct his stuff with. Like, that's not me. That's never been me. But I'm kind of embracing it and I'm enjoying it. Like I said, I've loved the switch so far. Aiden has loved the switch so far. We have not had complaints. We've not had any issues. As far as transitioning over for concepts, it's been completely smooth. We haven't had any hiccups or anything along the way. We did skip a couple lessons in the front because he had it mastered. And so when he has something mastered, I say, here, do 5 problems from this lesson, move to the next lesson, do 10 problems from that lesson. So you know, as the mom, what your child needs more of and what they already have mastered. So pay attention to that, because I'm not gonna have him do 5 problems of long division if he can get it down, if he understands the concept. So that's kind of how I view things in our homeschool. I know not everybody views things equally, and that's okay, but I just feel like if he gets the concept, if he can do it and he can do it well, I'm not gonna drill that same concept over and over and over again. Maybe do 2 long division problems in every lesson instead of the 5 that are listed for every lesson. So anyway, that's a quick update on Saxon Math for my 7th grader. He is doing the 7-6 because I knew Saxon was advanced. I felt that was a good place to start with him. No, he's not gonna have it finished by the end of this homeschool year for us. That's okay, I'm not worried about it. I am not worried about it one bit. When he finishes this book, when we have completed it, we will move on to Saxon 8-7. So that's kind of how it's gonna go. That's how I do things around here. Totally works for us here in our homeschool. Now to my 2nd grader. I wanna fill you guys in on what's going on with math for him. So we had used A Beka all up until this point. I know this is a super chatty video, but I feel like I have to explain myself so that you guys know where I'm coming from. We have used A Beka up to this point with my 2nd grader. This year, for whatever reason, Mama was needing something different, of course, my idea, not my child's. It was my idea to switch it up. We switched to Math 2 from the Good and the Beautiful. Now, when it comes to a preference for my 2nd grader with A Beka versus the Good and the Beautiful, he doesn't really have a preference, but when you open it up and you look at the practice problems and the games and all the different things in here, most of the time we don't do this. There's a lot of stuff in these books that we actually don't do. So I'm gonna go in detail a little more with this in an upcoming video where I show you guys my planner and what it actually looks like. It's been a very highly requested video from you all wondering how I juggle everything. So click that red subscribe button if you want to see that so that you don't miss that video when it's uploaded. I will go more in depth what I mean by some of the things in the Good and the Beautiful we're just skipping through. So with the Good and the Beautiful, if you're not familiar with the changes they're making, they are totally redoing their math, totally redoing it. Well, that's great and exciting and wonderful, but here is my dilemma. This is Math 2. Brantley is on part 2 of Math 2. He has 20 lessons left in Math 2. 20 lessons. That'll get us through what? Early March, right? Beginning of March. He's gonna need something to use until the Good and the Beautiful came out with their next level math, which for him will be Math 3. He's gonna need something in that meantime. So me, being me and my crazy self, I'm not even gonna get a glimpse into the Good and the Beautiful, what it's gonna look like, until the end of March. So once I know what it looks like, I'm still gonna have to wait till I think it's October when they're releasing it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think it'll be available to purchase until the end of October. So I have a huge window where my youngest does not have math. And I did not want to purchase Math 3, the old edition, because to me, even though it was discounted, I didn't feel like it was a wise choice because everything's going to be changing anyway. To sum it all up, here's what I did. A Beka Arithmetic 3. Yeah, I did it. Lessons away from finishing the Good and the Beautiful, Math 2. So we will be going to A Beka Arithmetic 3. This is something I've not used for a while, guys. And looking at it like towards the middle and end of it, I'm like, woo, this stuff is advanced. I forgot how advanced this was. Look at the problems in Math 3 that we're doing in A Beka. Okay, so we haven't touched on any of that yet. So again, that's the middle of the book. We've got time. I'm not sure if I should have done A Beka 2 or A Beka 3. I'll iron out all the kinks as needed. But at the beginning of the book, everything is right on pace. Like this is right on pace for where we're at with Math 2 from the Good and the Beautiful. So in the beginning, everything's right on pace. We might need to do some extra work on multiplication facts, which I use musical multiplication from the Good and the Beautiful for that. So again, we'll see how it all irons out. I have not started this yet from A Beka because he's about 20 lessons away from finishing the Good and the Beautiful. Again, if you want to see how I've used the Good and the Beautiful Math 2 with my youngest, who is just like my 7th grader, he just wants the math. He doesn't care for the games. He doesn't care for any of that. And so the Good and the Beautiful is so game intense, and I know you don't have to do that. But even the stories and stuff that it uses to reiterate the concepts, he doesn't want any of that. He just wants the problems that he has to do. He wants to get them done and he wants to move on. So if you look at A Beka, it's the problems that need to be accomplished, get it done, and move on. With A Beka, something I learned early on is I need to go through, just like I've been doing all along, and circle the problems that I actually want them to do. Because again, I don't think it's necessary to do every single problem in every single book that your child is working through. I just don't, in my heart, I do not feel it's necessary. I did that our very first year homeschooling. I crammed and crammed and crammed and forced every single problem. I forced every single page, and it did not work, and it was a nightmare. I have learned to let it go, that every single thing doesn't need to be done. If they get the concept, if they know it and they've got it down, move on. I know right now, transition-wise, from The Good and the Beautiful to A Beka 3, some of the things are gonna be a jump and some things will be fine. I won't know until the very end of The Good and the Beautiful if I need to order Math 2 from A Beka and work through like the last chunk of that book, or if we can go straight into Math 3. So again, this for my second grader is all happening because of the transitions from The Good and the Beautiful and the timeline. I'm not gonna have something to fill that gap until, and so it kind of forced me to make a change regardless, and I'm kind of okay with that. Honestly, I probably should have stuck with A Beka 2 for my youngest because he was rocking it out and he gets it. So I should have probably stuck with that, but it's okay. It's all gonna work out. In the end, it'll all be fine. All that to say, that is what we have switched in our homeschool. That is an update on math. You ask all the time. So many of you ask, what am I doing for math? How are things going? What can I recommend? I don't have any specific recommendation, but I can tell you my oldest went from teaching textbooks now to Saxon Math, and he loves it. It was his request, and it's been going great. My fifth grader is still using teaching textbooks, and it's been going great. My second grader was using The Good and the Beautiful and is now going to be using A Beka because of the changes that the company is actually going through with their math. So, any questions, let me know in the comment section down below. I would love to chat it up with you moms. If you're new here, introduce yourself, say hello in the comment section. I will see you all in our next video. Do not forget to give this video a thumbs up. It helps out my channel more than you know. Share our channel with your homeschool mama friends, and I will see you all in our next video. Bye.